Okay, so let's see how many can relate to this. It's a Wednesday night, and you know that you haven't been posting very regularly on Facebook. So you are in the mood to post something, you're not sure what, so you just sit there and you either stare at your monitor or you stare at your phone and stare. Now, you know that you need to create some kind of post that has some sort of substance to it, but you're not quite sure what. So you end up just grabbing something out of the interweb clouds and posting something, and then it happens. Nothing. You barely get any views, let alone any likes, and zero comments. Now, how many people, from a show of hands, know exactly what I'm talking about? So there you are, after you decided that, okay, I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to post online, and then you don't get any engagement. It becomes frustrating. It becomes frustrating so much, in fact, that you're like, well, what's the point? Social media doesn't work. Wrong. Social media does work. My name is Natasha Rochelle Rector, and I'm excited that you pressed play today, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to share 8 tips that you can utilize out of my 31 tips. I'm going to share 8 to show you that there are ways to generate content that will build engagement, that people will like, that people will share, that people will comment on. Because if you get more engagement on your posts, Google will love you. If Google loves you, the world is great with your business. But not only that, other people will start to see your post online. So if you post something online and a friend of yours likes it or shares it, well, the likelihood of that post that you created shows up in your friend's newsfeed increases, which means that their friend, 9 times out of 10, they're going to start seeing it too. So that's more exposure for you, grown organically based off of some of the tips that I'm going to share with you today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share, as I mentioned, I'm going to share eight of these tips. Now, the tips I'm going to share from you or to you are from a content creation challenge that I created about a year ago. And so now that it's a year later, and strangely enough, I'm still getting questions from people as to what and why and how can they create content that's going to help them online. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the first one. All right. Okay. So you'll see the numbers of the days in the upper left-hand side. Don't pay any mind to that, because the tips I'm going to show you are not in order. These are just little tips that I figured that people would really want to know. These are tips that you can actually take into practice and implement today and start to see an increase in engagement, comments, likes, love, shares, okay? So, all right. The first thing that you can do in creating content is to share how-tos. Now, the how-tos, and I'll just read it. Who doesn't love learning how to do something, right? Only a few got that question up underneath there. You know, anyone? Bueller. Anyway, what do you know how to do that people ask you often? How? Create an email or a post on how to create something. A good example would be, well, Natasha, how do you create these websites so quickly? Natasha, man, I wish I knew how to code and create a fantastic website. I wonder how you do it. Or, man, I really wish I knew how to create a landing page. I wonder how you do it. Can you share it with me? So if you're in business or you're thinking about starting a business, you've probably already been asked the questions, how do you do XYZ? Well, this is perfect opportunity for you to share a little bit of how you do something. Now, I don't want you to feel like, well, if I share with them how I do something, then why would they even want to buy from me? Well, here's the thing. You got to remember that we are in a universe where there are unlimited supplies of success that can go around for everybody, but there's only one you. There's only one you with the type of personality that you have. So if you and your next door neighbor are selling the same thing, there's going to be people that's going to buy from you only, and the same for them. The reason why a person will buy from you is because of your personality, that they resonate with you and they just like you. So people really buy who you are, not necessarily what it is you do. But by sharing how to do something, it allows them to get a feel of the inside. It allows them to really get a feel of behind the scenes, if you will, or have the opportunity to get hands-on and do something themselves. This is a really great example. I'm doing a how-to video right now. How do you create content when you're so used to just sitting in front of your computer or your phone drawing blanks? So I'm sharing with you different tips that you can start thinking about in the back of your mind to help you to create content. Cool? Cool. All right. So the next one, behind the scenes. And I said this just a few seconds ago. But what you can do is show your tribe how, you pack and ship off those custom-made t-shirts, or how you create an online course. You could even take a snapshot and post on Instagram or a different social media platform. Another great example of behind the scenes, what if I had another camera filming me as I'm looking into my monitor and have my setup with my light, with my laptop, with any microphones, with my notes? It's given people an opportunity to see the human side of your business. It allows them to see and really resonate and connect with you even more so behind the scenes. So this is a really great opportunity. Another example, besides showing them how you ship off custom-made t-shirts, what if you were making candles? Well, maybe you can share some behind the scenes of you putting labels on your candle containers. Or maybe if you're a musician, maybe you can post some pictures or maybe even some video of you in the studio, warming up right before you get ready to drop your verse, right? There's a lot of different things that you can show behind the scenes without necessarily giving away the trade secrets, okay? So this is a great opportunity, or another opportunity, to share some content that should just always spark some ideas to help you to share with your audience so that they can even start to love you even more, okay? This next one, interviews. Reach out to someone who has a rags to riches story, or someone who you've noticed accomplishing their goals or achieving amazing heights, who your tribe will find interesting. I have perfect examples for this. Last year, around this time, I actually had a show called The Real Feel Good Show. And what I did was I interviewed successful women in their industry who were told that they were never going to amount to anything, who were told, you're too old, you're too young. They were told that they couldn't succeed with what it was that they were succeeding in. So I actually did video interviews. I did video conferences and sharing their story to not only their audience or their tribe, but to mine as well. So it was my way of encouraging the following that I had, to let them know that, someone knows exactly where you are, where you've been, but here is some encouragement. Here is someone's testament to their test of succeeding, doing the exact same thing that you're wanting to do. Another example is I currently have a show called DFW Soul Sessions, and basically what that is I actually interview Dallas-Fort Worth musicians here in Texas in my car, and I interview them, giving them the opportunity to interview with me, but to have a little behind the scenes for their listeners so that they get to know the person behind the persona, behind the artist, right? So if you can just sit and think, what type of industry are you currently in? Are there any types of people who would make a great interview? Is there someone that your tribe would be really interested in to learn the backstory or how to do a certain thing? This is a really good opportunity to really just get creative, come up with a lot of ideas, and just start reaching out and asking these experts in your industry if they mind sharing their time with you with an interview. Series. When creating content for your tribe, do you find yourself creating the same type of content? I do. What you can do is actually gather and combine all of it. This combined content will be your series, and you can actually send this out to your email list. Now, another example of what I'm talking about is I tend to have a lot of content that I've created in how to create content. So what I've done in the past, I've actually gathered all of my blog posts and I created it into an ebook. I've created it into a webinar. I've even created blog posts, not only blog posts, but social media posts. And what I do is I gather the like content and I release it gradually. Now, if you're wanting to build your email list, you can say, let's say you build a lot of content on building cars. Maybe you are a car fanatic and you like buying old automobiles and tricking them out, right? Or maybe it's not tricking, pimping. You like pimping them out. So what you tend to do is you tend to have a lot of content on maybe how you go to the junkyard or how you buy the parts online or how you travel the country, interviewing the stories behind the cars. You know, whatever it is, the content is that you do, just gather all of that together and let your audience know, hey, I have this 5 email series where I go cross country and share different stories of previous automobile owners from the 1920s. Now that would be very interesting, right? And what you'll do is you'll create all of that content and then maybe you could release one story or one post once a week and you'll send that to your email list. And then the second week comes and then you send out the second portion, right? So the point is to really get their attention, to draw them in, to let them know that, man, you got a lot more content that you want to share. But in order to see it, you got to type in your email below, okay? This is a very, very great tactic that I've used in the past and works without a doubt. Client support. I like to think of client support as a way to be available for your tribe. You can create office hours on Google Hangouts and have a Q&A session. Now, I've done this before too. I've done it on Google Hangouts. I've also done it Facebook Live inside my private Facebook groups. Now, this actually is a really good tactic. It doesn't matter what type of industry you're in. Let's say you have a bunch of t-shirt customers who they love your designs. They love your designs, but maybe they have more questions. Maybe they have questions as far as, you know, how do they take care of it? How do they extend the life of their t-shirt? Maybe they have questions on, well, they like the design, but they want it in a different color. Or if you do t-shirts, maybe, you know, you do hats, maybe you do backpacks. So what you're doing, you're actually letting your clients or your customers know that you're wanting to hear from them. You're showing them that they're important. You're letting them know that they are on your mind and what they have to say means something to you. So you make yourself available, I would say, maybe for an hour one day. And just say, I'm available. I have open office hours from this time to this time. Please use this opportunity to reach out to me if you have any questions. And then whatever questions you get, respond. Whether you want to do it live, whether there's a lot of people that do Twitter chats. I find for me, what worked well was the Facebook group. What I've done in the past is within my group, I posted and I said, open office hours. If you have any questions about XYZ, please post your questions here and I'll respond with the video. And what was really cool about that was I created one video for each question that I had in response to that question. And I directed that video to the person that asked the question. So that really made them feel really good because everyone loves to hear the sound of their name. So here you have this person online in another part of the world maybe, and they are focused in on you, talking directly to you as if you are right in front of them, showing them love, giving them attention. I promise you, this tactic is phenomenal. It works wonders. There's different ways of doing it, but I highly suggest that you include this in your marketing content creation, okay? Another one, which is a favorite of mine, is using user testimonies. Do you have a testimony from a client? You can use it in your strategy. Like I had a customer or a client named Kelly Johnson Ellis, and basically she was just complimenting me on my teaching skills and really helping her to expand her knowledge with her marketing. You can take a look here if you'd like. But people love looking at other people's testimonies. It's that social proof. As an example, this is a real life example that I'm doing with you right now. Have you seen Spider-Man Homecoming? If you haven't seen that, you need to see that. I saw that movie 4 times over the weekend. The movie is phenomenal. I love the new Spider-Man. I love all the special appearances. I love Stan Lee. Yes, he appears. I love all the different characters that Marvel has really come up with. And I think you would just love it. You're going to be at the edge of your seat throughout the entire movie. You need to watch it. Okay, now, if you're a Marvel fan, whether you've seen it or you have not seen it or you're not a Marvel fan, the fact that I had the intensity, the fact that I'm sharing with you directly that you need to go see Spider-Man Homecoming, that should have triggered some sort of emotion within you to say, wow, this movie must be really good. Maybe I should go see it. All right, it's social proof. People tend to trust the referrals of other people on a business or reference of some sort, okay? People just want to feel as though they're part of a group. And so if a person tells you, hey, you should go see that movie because I did, it's going to increase the likelihood of them going to see that movie just because you told them to. So if you are able to collect testimonies from past clients, this would be a phenomenal time to definitely share it. Use it as a piece of content. You can go to canva.com like I did, get their profile picture, copy and paste what it was that they said, put their name on it and what business that they are representing, and share it as a post. Now you can take it a step further and you can also put those testimonies on your website. Either way, this is a great piece of strategy, content creation. If you haven't done it, you got to do it. Okay, another one is webinars. This is another example of a little short webinar. But an online seminar or webinar, it allows you to be a subject expert and share your expertise. Another cool thing is you can choose to monetize the webinar or offer it for free. Now, anytime that you do a webinar and people are chiming in, it's because you have this authority about yourself. People know, well, if Natasha is going to talk about this, she has to know what she's talking about. And if you did the other tips that I shared, especially that social proof, you got other people telling them that you know what you're talking about. And so the likelihood of someone signing up for your webinar increases big time. So this is definitely something that you should consider. Now, what are some examples of some webinars? You can take your how-tos, remember that first piece of content that you could create, and create it into a webinar. A webinar is basically just you doing a video conference teaching. You're sharing your knowledge with your audience. That is a webinar. If you don't want to do video, I could easily take my video of myself off of this and just share my slides. If you don't want to do that, you can do teleconferences. You know, the beauty of doing these things is there are so many different platforms that you can use. A lot of them are for free. Some of them are for a premium fee, but there's really no excuse as to why you can't do it. You don't have to be a computer whiz kid to come up with some slides. These are slides that you can even go to canva.com again and create for free. Now, this last one that I'm going to share with you, book reviews. This is a really great one. Book reviews are a great way to get attention from the author's tribe as well as your own. Now, I highly suggest that once you finish reading the book, create your review, and if applicable, tag the author in the post, especially if it's a great review. Like if you didn't like the book and you thought it sucked, don't tag them. That's just rude. You're not their critic. You know what I mean? It's your opinion, whatever. But if you really want to be in the good graces of the author and hopefully encourage them to share it with their tribe, that here's somebody who read the book, who knows what they're talking about, they like the book, they're going to share it too. All right. Now, this past weekend here recently, I did, I guess you could say, a book review as well. I was invited to be a guest speaker at San Antonio College. Now, the book that I was reviewing was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Now, the beautiful thing about this, though, is that the college wanted me to speak on just 2 of the habits, which I did. Now, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the college to edit the video because they recorded me, and I'm going to share a clip of it. I'm going to post it, and I'm going to tag authors. I'm going to tag as many people as I can find that had anything to do with the making of the book, just to start building content, but also to start building my tribe. And in any case, all of these tips that I shared will definitely help you to do all of the above. Okay, so I believe that's the last one. Yes, it is. I'm going to stop sharing. Back to me. So I hope that you found some value. I hope you were able to look at these 8 different tips on how to create content and get inspired to take some action. There should never be a time where you are just randomly sitting at your computer or in front of your cell phone, just clueless, just drawing blanks. You have no idea where to start or where to go from, right? So what you can do is you can just refer to these 8. Now, if you want to learn more, if you want to learn the other 22 different ways of coming up with content, if you want to learn how to attract your ideal market, if you want to learn how to create a sales funnel, if you're wanting to really dive in and have accessible to you over 240 minutes of marketing, straight marketing, actionable steps that's going to take you from point A to point Z, then I need you to go ahead and read below. Now, just to let you know a little bit more about who I am, wow, I've been in the marketing world for over 15 years. Based off of my marketing strategies, I was able to be featured in the Family Circle magazine. I was able to be a featured guest twice on the Ricky Smiley Show. I worked with other local celebrities within the Dallas-Fort Worth area and helping them with their media. I was even offered the opportunity to work with Miss Chalet in helping her on her domestic violence tour. Wow. In addition to that, I was also a guest speaker, as I mentioned earlier, at San Antonio College. But all of these things happened for me because, number one, I planned out my content. Number two, I learned how to create my sales funnel and be strategic with the different strategies and the tactics that I use. And so all of these things that I've learned in the course of over 15 years, I'm sharing with you within the 4 videos that you can have access to today. All right. So I want to make sure that you take advantage of this because the price that I have is really still. I promise you that it is. It's worth a lot more than that, but I really want to make things affordable for you right now. So go ahead, take advantage of it right now. I'm super excited to see you on the inside. I'm super excited, more than excited, to share my knowledge with you because I want to see you succeed. Anyone that comes across me or anyone that knows me knows that I am your biggest cheerleader and I believe in you and I know that you can be successful doing the things that you need to do to be this content creating machine. I know that you can do this. I'm going to be there for you to help you, okay? So go ahead, read below, get access today, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye.